Topic 4 test review. Number 1, what are the 5 triangle congruence theorems? Where do you get that from? The board. All you got to do is write them down. Side, side, side. Side, angle, side. Angle, side, angle. Angle, angle, side. Hypotenuse, leg. That's all you got to do is write them down. Number 2, what theorem shows that those two triangles are the same? First of all, what can we assume in that picture?
When they're connected, the two angles are the same.
Yep, what they're connected by, we can assume those two are the same. So, now you pick one. Which one does it satisfy? Side, angle, side. Okay. If you didn't know, go through them. Can it be hypotenuse, leg? Why not?
No right angle.
No right angle. Can it be angle, angle, side? No, why not? There's not two angles. Same argument for C, not two angles. Okay. Number 3 and 4. You're basing it off of this picture right here. What does this stand for? Measure of the angle. Yep, KJL. We're looking for this one right here. What can we fill in that triangle, or what do we know about that triangle? Just this one right here. If these two sides are the same, what else do we know? The two bottom angles are going to be the same. Okay, so how can we use that information and knowing this angle is 72 to help us?
180 minus 72 divided by 2.
Yep. Why did all of you pick 180? Triangles add up to 180. So I can take 180 minus 72 to give me 108. Now, 108 is what these two angles add up to be. So how do I find one of them? Yep, 108 divided by 2 is 54. Once you figure out something, what should you do? Put it in the picture. So we know this is 54. This one is also 54. Okay. Number 4, LNM. We're looking for this angle right here. What can we fill in the picture?
The corresponding angle.
Yep, this one right here across from here. This one's also 54. What else do we know about that bottom triangle?
The two angles are going to be the same.
These two angles are going to be the same. What's the reasoning?
Two sides are the same.
Yep, because it's an isosceles triangle. Good. So, how do we find the missing angle? 180 minus 54 to get 126. Now 126 is both of these angles put together. So how do I find one of them? Yep, 126 divided by 2 is 63. That's your answer. Did you do anything different between 3 and 4? No, they're the same process, right? The only thing that we did in the middle was we could assume that these two angles right here are the same because of vertical angles. Okay? Moving on to number 5 through 7. I know this is kind of tricky. I'm going to give you a little hint here. 5, 6, and 7 all have to do with this picture down here. Okay? What I want you to do before you even work on the problems is go get all the information that they give you. Okay, so what information do they give you on number 5?
Angle BHC is equal to 100.
Right, that angle is equal to 100, so we go fill it in. We know that angle is 100. What information did they give us on number 6?
CE is 75.
Right, they gave us this, and what about this?
Oh, yeah.
They gave us both of those, right? So we go fill in both of those in the picture. So BEF is 100, and CBE is 75. Did they give us any additional information on number 7? No. So do we have all the information that we have? Yes. Now go and answer the questions. Okay. What is the measure of angle CED? So this one right here. Why is it 100? Because it's a vertical angle. Yep. So this one is 100 because across from there we have vertical angles. Once you figure out something, what should you do? Put it in the picture. Yep. So this is 100. Number 6, what is it asking for? DAG, this one. Can we find it right away? No, we got to do some work to get there. Okay, I'm going to do my work for number 6 down here so we can look at the picture. Anything we can fill in the picture to help us? Say that louder.
H equals 100.
On the bottom side? Yep, we can assume that this is 100 because of vertical angles. Good. What else?
Oh, the angle B is the same on both sides.
Right. Vertical angles again. This is also 75. Yep. Why do you say that? Right. See, we have a straight line here. These two angles are adjacent on that straight line. So we know those two add up to what? 180. So we can take 180 minus 100 to give us 80. So 80 is this angle right here. Can we find x?
Yeah.
How? Right, we know 2, we can find the third. So if you didn't see that, we have a triangle right here. Okay, we know 2 of those angles, we can find the third. So we can take 75 plus 80 to give us 155. And then what do I do with that? Yep, 180 minus 155 is 25. 25 is your answer for number 6. Number 7 is asking if these two triangles are congruent to each other. I'm going to erase this for a second. Number 7 is asking if these two triangles are congruent to each other. Okay, what do you notice about the multiple choice options on number 7? Do they have a lot of words
Yes.
and junk? Okay, what do we care about? Do we care about all of this? No, what do we care about?
How they think that.
One of those, right? We care about these statements right here, okay, or the no. Which one of those can I get rid of right away? Ask this. Is side, why'd you say side angle?
It doesn't exist.
Side angle does not exist. Okay, so we can get rid of B right away. Let's go look at those two triangles. Let's just check side angle side. Those two triangles, do they satisfy side angle side? Just look at this one first. Does that triangle satisfy side angle side?
No,
Why not?
because we don't know what the angles are.
Right, and it's out of order, right? So side angle side does not work. Hypotenuse leg, does that work? What do we need in order to use hypotenuse leg? A right angle, which we do have, okay? Does it have a hypotenuse? Yes. Does it have a leg? Yes. So our answer is C. Yep. What if neither of those three worked? Then it would be no. Yep. Good. Number 8. Okay. On this one, it is okay to assume things by what they look like. I am okay with that on number 8. Okay? So you don't need to go through and be like, oh, this is congruent to this, because does it get messy really fast? Yes. I am okay if you assume things on this one. Okay? So let me tell you what I'm talking about. FGK, so this triangle, is it congruent to this triangle? Just by looking at it, do you think it should be? Yes. So that one works. The next one, GKH is congruent to JKH. Do you think that should be true? Yes. FG congruent to KG. Do you think that should be true? Why no on that one? Is the side specifically marked? No. Okay, so that one is a no. GFH and JFH.
Yeah.
Yes. Triangle GKH and triangle JKH. So we're talking about these two right here. Do you agree? Yes. Last one here. We have FG and JK. Why not? It's not marked for you. Yep. Good. Again, is it okay to assume on number 8? For what it looks like? Yes. However, if the sides are not marked, you do not say yes. Okay? Any questions on the front side before we go on to the back side? All right. When you get to the back, number 9, 10, and 11, yes, they are on the same picture, but they are different problems. Okay? So once you do number 9, it's a new problem when you get to number 10. Okay, so let me explain that. Number 9, it says if BAC, which is here, is congruent to DCA, which is here. It wants to know if ABE is congruent to CDE. Again, what can we assume with those two triangles? Which angle? Yep, the ones that are connected we can assume are congruent to each other. Now, which satisfaction of those works? Does angle side work?
Yeah. Wait.
Does angle side work?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, just to check, does side work? No. Side angle side? No. And we already said angle side worked. Okay. Okay, now, when you get to number 10, it is a whole new problem. So you will erase what markings you had in the picture. Number 10 is a brand new problem. Okay. Number 10, if BD bisects AC. What does bisect mean?
Like goes across.
Goes across. There's one more thing that helps us know what it is. Bisect means split in half. Okay, so if AC here splits BD in half, sorry, I read that backwards. They do this one first. If BD splits AC in half, that means these two lines are congruent to each other. Similar idea, if AC bisects BD, we know that these two are congruent to each other. Does that make sense? So if it says it bisects a line, it splits that line in equal parts. So we can assume they're congruent to each other. Okay, now it wants to know if these two triangles are congruent to each other. If so, by what? What are you thinking? What did you say? Because you assumed this? I would be okay if you said that. What did you guys say over here? Side would also work. Okay, so if you recognize side right away, awesome. Okay, but if you assumed the angle in the middle, I'm okay if you put side angle side also. Okay? When you go to number 11, what do you need to do? Erase. New problem. Okay? What does this symbol mean right here? Parallel. Okay? If AB is parallel to CD, how do I mark that in here for parallel? What's the symbol for parallel? Parallel symbol is an arrow. So those two lines are parallel to each other. It wants to know if ACD is congruent to, so we're talking about these two triangles. If ACD is congruent to CAB. What is something we can assume? The sides that are connected. What side is connected? AC. So we can assume AC is congruent to itself. Okay. Now, they gave us parallel hint for a reason. Okay. Here's my two parallel lines. What's this line called? Transversal. Okay. Remember, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, all of those. That's when this comes into play. Okay. Do we have any alternate interior, exterior corresponding angles?
Vertical.
We do have vertical, okay? What about this angle? What angle is that congruent to? That angle C on this side, right? Okay. Do we have enough information to answer the question? Which one of those is it? Should be side, angle, side. Is that an option? Yep, C. So here's a little hint for you. If you see a parallel symbol, I would look for alternate interior angles. Okay, if you see those, I would look for alternate interior angles to make one of those statements true. Okay? Any questions on 9, 10, and 11? What do you need to make sure of when you're doing 9, 10, and 11? Erase. Yep. When you're done with number 9, number 10's a new problem. Erase your picture. Okay? All right, number 12 should be a gimme to you. All I want you to do is draw an isosceles triangle and an equilateral triangle and label it. Okay? So if I have an isosceles here, and I draw a triangle, how can I label it to be isosceles? 2 sides are equal. What else? Which 2 angles? The bottom 2. That's all I need for isosceles. Okay? 2 sides equal and those 2 bottom angles are equal. If we do the equilateral one, okay, and I have a triangle here, how do I know it's an equilateral triangle?
All 3 sides and all 3 angles.
All 3 sides, all 3 angles. I need one more thing. All angles are 60 degrees. Okay, that is all I need on number 12, are those 2 drawings. Okay, do you think I need that all of these are 60? Yes. Okay, so this one you're going to mark 2 different things. This one you're going to mark 3 different things. Okay. Last section here, looking at number 13, 14, 15, and 16. All based off of this picture up here. Okay. Again, what does this mean right here? Measure of the angle. Okay. TQR. I'm looking for this angle right here. What do we got to do?
Add 35 to 25 and then just minus 1.
Right. We know 2. We can find the third. So 35 plus 25 is 60. What do I do next? 180 minus 60 is 120. Once you figure something out, what should you do? Put it in the picture. This reasoning box, okay? Not everyone is going to have the same reasoning on every single one, okay? But your reasoning needs to match up with what you did for the math. So, how did you guys know that I had to do that? All triangles add up to 180. So your reasoning is all triangles equal 180. That's good enough. As long as you have something to that effect, that is fine. Do you think you need to fill out the reasoning blank? Yes. Okay, don't forget to do that. The reasoning is just for me to know how you knew you had to do that. Okay? This one I changed to PQT, which is this angle right here. What do we think? How'd you get that? Close. Right, we know these are on the same line. Instead of complementary, they're supplementary angles. Okay, so those add up to 180. So we know we need to take 180 minus 120 to get 60. Okay. I heard one reason can be supplementary angles. What did other people think when they saw that? Some people last period said adjacent angles. Some people even said shared line. However you think to get that answer, it is okay, but you need to put a reasoning down for why you got it. Does that make sense? Okay. Next one, M and T. First, I'm gonna fill in 60. So I have 60 and 120. We want to find M and T. Can we find that directly right now? No. Let's fill in some things. What are some things we can assume in this picture? Like, what's extra information I could fill in based off of the markings they give us? Yep, this big triangle is an isosceles triangle, so that we know these two angles are congruent. So if this is 25, what's the other one? 25. There's some more information we can fill in. We cannot assume this is 35 yet. What about that middle triangle? It's also an isosceles, so if this is 60, what's the other side? 60. What's this angle?
90.
Also 90. So 60, this is 90. I heard some light bulbs go off. What are you thinking? Right, it's the same argument that we just did on the first one, right? After we filled in information, what do we know about those two angles?
180.
They equal 180. So I need to take 180 minus 60, which equals 120. What is my reasoning? How did we know to do that?
It's just shared sides.
Shared side. It's the same reasoning as what we had on that number 14. Okay, so you can put the same reasoning as what we had on number 14. Again, your brains don't think the same as mine. Your brain doesn't think the same as your friends. Okay, so you're not going to have the same reasoning as the person sitting next to you because we all don't think the same. Okay, and that's fine. Number 16. Okay, so what we just found out was that x is 120. We want to find MR. Is that a side or is that an angle?
Side.
MR is a side right here. Do we have everything in order to figure that out? We don't yet, but can we figure it out? Yes. Why? What do you know about the whole picture right now? Everything is congruent to something, right? What do we think this side length is right here? 6. Why'd you get that?
Because it's congruent to PQ.
It's congruent. This whole triangle is congruent, okay? So we know that has to be 6. What's this side? 4. Do we have everything now? Okay, how do we figure out what MR is? Add up all the sides. So we do 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 4, which is 20. What would my reasoning be? Everything's congruent. Remember we talked about corresponding? Okay, once you start assuming some things, remember your reasoning is always going to be corresponding parts because that's how you got all of that information. Okay, or if you said congruent here, congruent parts, that's fine too. Okay? Any questions on the back side or any of the review? Remember this. Okay, on the test, you are going to have 2 proofs that will look pretty similar to these. Okay? I'm going to change this a little bit. Change ADE to ABE. And change CDE to CBE. Okay. What is always going to go first on these proofs? The given, right? How many givens do we have? 2. So those are going to be your first 2 statements or your given statements. So you just rewrite them. What is the reasoning for those statements? Given. Yep. All you do for the reasoning is write given. What is going to come after the given? I'm going to back up. Yes, you're correct. Back up a little bit. When you put the given in there, what should you do with the picture?
Plug it in.
Mark it, right? So we know AB is congruent to BC, and ABE is congruent to CBE. Now, what is our next statement going to be? Whatever they have shared, right? Keep in mind what triangles they're talking about. They're talking about these two right here. What do they have in common? BE. How do I write that here? Do I just put BE? What do I put? BE is congruent to BE. What's the reasoning? Shared side. And then 4, again, go mark it in the picture. What is my last statement going to be? It's going to be the proof statement. So we have triangle ABE is congruent to triangle CBE by what?
Side equals side.
Yep. Done. Questions on the proofs. Okay, what if I added another question in there and I said, I want you to tell me why angle BAE is congruent to angle BCE? Like if this one was our proof statement. Right, we would put this here, angle BAE is congruent to angle BCE, and what's the reasoning? Corresponding parts. Okay, because remember, once you prove one of those to be true, everything else after that is corresponding parts. Okay?